Hi, I'm Pam and I'm here to talk about video games. Today I'm continuing on with my favorite games of all time, this time covering numbers 45 to 41. 45 is from a series that has already made an appearance on this list and featured a very controversial ending. Mass Effect 3 was developed by BioWare and released in 2012. Here, we take control of Commander Shepard, for the very last time. The third-person shooting system is further refined, and Shepard is very mobile, making the combat the best of the trilogy. But that's not really why I play this, is it? Most of my favorite characters from earlier games are back: Garrus, Kaidan, Liara, Tali. Plus, there are great new characters like the smokin' hot and very flirty James Vega. In this game, the Reaper invasion is in full force, threatening the galaxy. Shepard must use her considerable abilities and the connections she's made throughout the series to gain support from as many different groups as possible in order to fight the threat. Mass Effect 3 features some very memorable and often heartbreaking scenes. The reunion with Mordin Solus had me in tears and caused me to play the whole series again for the sole purpose of changing his story. Most memorable and emotional for me was going into what would be the final battle. We get time to say our goodbyes to all the characters with whom we've traveled with, fought alongside, and come to love over the course of 3 games. Saying goodbye to Garrus broke my heart. And honestly, I thought the original ending was fine. The next game takes place in a cyberpunk setting, full of industrial espionage and wonderful characters. Shadowrun Hong Kong was developed by Harebrained Schemes and released for PC in 2015. It's a turn-based tactical role-playing game and is the third entry in the rebooted Shadowrun series. This one takes place in the futuristic Hong Kong Free Enterprise Zone, a place controlled by corporations. You play as an orphan, who, along with your best friend and brother, is out to find your foster father, who has disappeared under mysterious circumstances. The story takes them through locations both seedy and indulgent, filled with poisonous evils, corruption, and greed. Of all the Shadowrun games, I like the characters in this one best. There's foster brother Duncan, who was previously a cop and struggles with the law-breaking required to be a Shadowrunner, and Gaichu, a blind samurai ghoul who the team is initially contacted to find and kill. Each character has their own motivations and a very enjoyable personal quest once you've gotten to know them enough by talking to them between missions. I particularly liked Isabel's quest, which has you infiltrating a convention and involves a lot of sneaking and persuasion. The writing and locations are fantastic, and the different classes, especially Deckers who can hack into mainframes, all have diverse and fun skill sets for combat. I also appreciate that at only about 15 hours, it doesn't overstay its welcome. 43 combines 2 of my favorite things in entertainment: horror and space. Dead Space was developed by EA and released in 2008. It's a survival horror that takes place on a derelict mining ship, the USG Ishimura. You play Isaac Clarke, a systems engineer, who, along with 2 other crewmates, answers the ship's distress call and tries to figure out what happened. The ship found something that caused hysteria and for the dead to come back to life as dangerous necromorphs. As Isaac, you explore the ship, finding logs and notes which give hints of what happened while being terrorized by these monsters. The atmosphere of the game is oppressive. It's dark, there are tight corridors and sections where you don't have any gravity or any air. It's perfect for survival horror. The necromorphs are frightening. They make terrible noises and appear when you least expect them, or sometimes exactly when you expect them. Most horrifying is that you can't just shoot them in the head, you have to dismember them if you want to kill them. One small thing the game does that I'm so appreciative of is include a waypoint system. The game is scary enough without having to wander around aimlessly, and this system will point you in the right direction whenever you need it. Next is a modern classic that taught us all, the cake is a lie. Portal was developed by Valve and released for PC in 2007. It's a first-person puzzle platformer that was hugely original when it was released and has influenced a ton of other games. As an unheard and mostly unseen player character, you wake up in the Aperture Science Laboratory. GLaDOS, an AI, tells you that you're about to be tested. You pick up the portal gun beside you and go on your way. What follows is a couple hours of perfect puzzle solving. While there's no official tutorial, the game does an excellent job of teaching you how to play. You're introduced to mechanics one at a time, first using the portals to get from place to place, then being introduced to things like the weighted companion cube and turrets. One of my favorite mechanics is dropping from a great height into a portal in order to fling yourself across a gap when you come out the connecting one. There's also a clever little chart at the start of each level, letting you know exactly what challenges you'll face. And of course, GLaDOS is there the whole time, instructing, encouraging, taunting. Evil, snark-filled robots are kind of my jam, and she really makes the game. Her narration, along with some of the little peeks behind the curtain you see as you progress, provides some amazing black humor. 41 is another sci-fi game that takes place on a mysterious planet where our ideas of life and death get turned upside down. The Dig was developed by Lucasfilm Games and released for PC in 1995. It's a point-and-click adventure whose writing is credited to Steven Spielberg, Orson Scott Card, and Brian Moriarty, who wrote another of my favorite LucasArts games, Loom. An asteroid has been spotted, headed towards Earth, and a group of astronauts is headed out to examine it and try to knock it off course with explosives. However, after exploring the asteroid, they find themselves transported to an alien planet, which is as dangerous as it is beautiful. They find magic crystals, which seem to be able to return the dead to life. But at what cost? The Dig features some really tough puzzles, including a particularly frustrating one with a turtle-like creature, but it's worth it when you solve it. The visuals in the game are amazing. The alien vistas seen throughout are breathtaking, and the scenery is some of my favorite pixel art ever. It's accompanied by a suitably epic score. Experiencing the game for the first time, exploring this new world, and finding all the secrets it had to offer was a very memorable thing for me, which puts it up here on my list. That's it for this episode. The next one will feature the only N64 game on my list, along with a few games based on popular movie franchises. If you missed it, check out the last episode in this series, or another of my videos. I have a Patreon if you're interested in supporting my channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.